Why narcissists don't care when the relationship ends. One of the hardest things we go through when we end a relationship with a narcissist, and one of the toughest things to accept, is the fact that they don't really show any pain when you leave. Or when they leave you, they act like they don't give a shit. Why do you think that is? I mean, you gave them your heart and soul. You completely opened yourself up to them throughout the entire relationship, and all you got in return was pain and abuse. That's a hard pill to swallow for any normal person. Thanks so much for being here. So today I'm going to explain why narcissists just don't give a shit when the relationship ends. And it all begins with what they are all about, and that's themselves. Honestly, the only thing they care about is how they can benefit from you. And trust me, if you're keeping tabs on them and they seem as if they aren't bothered one bit that you left, it's only for a couple reasons. And the first reason is that you're replaceable. To a narcissist, you're just an object to them. You aren't a real person, and your feelings don't mean shit to them. I know it's hard to hear that, because you might be sitting there, still being consumed with feelings of sadness and heartache, because you tried your best to make something positive out of your relationship with them. And they're already off with somebody new, appearing to be all happy in their life, like your breakup didn't affect them one bit. One of the analogies I like to use is a restaurant. Think of your favorite restaurant. You love going there. You love the atmosphere. You love the food, the drinks. You just love everything about it. But you're not in love with it. And what happens when that restaurant closes down? What do you do then? You probably think, well, that sucks, but it's okay. I'll just have to go find a new restaurant to fill my hunger and happiness. To the narcissist, you're just like that restaurant. That's how they look at you. They will come to you when they're hungry for attention or they need something from you. But what happens if you close down? What happens when you're no longer willing to provide them with what they want? They'll just go find another restaurant, another person to fill their hunger. And there are millions of options for them out there. So losing you really doesn't matter to them one bit. Everything you did for them was all just part of their plan. It had nothing to do with how awesome of a person you really are. Narcissists know from the very beginning of the relationship that it's only going to last for as long as you're open. As soon as they sense you're about to close the door on them, they're out there looking for their next victim, their next restaurant. And trust me, they always have people all lined up. They've been grooming other people, knowing that it's just a matter of time before they lose you. It's all part of the cycle I talk about all the time. That's why when you reflect back on your relationship, you'll start to uncover the real truth. And the truth you'll discover is that the connection you thought was there, that bond you felt with them, was all just one-sided. The narcissist never truly connected with you. That's because narcissists aren't able to create real connections. They aren't able to form strong emotional bonds. They keep people at just enough distance and never reveal their true feelings. They never fully opened up like you did. Remember all the things you did for them and never got anything in return? That's because they never had anything solid to offer you in the first place. And when you stop meeting their expectations, when you stop doing all those things you did in the beginning, and you let them down, they just can't deal with that. Listen up close, guys, because this is super important. You didn't let them down. They just perceive that you let them down. And their inability to form that connection I mentioned earlier makes it simple for them to move on from you and move right on to someone else. The hardest part to accept is that you felt a connection and a bond, and it hurts when you find out that they never felt the same way. It can be quite crushing to your ego, because like any normal person, You're expecting the breakup to affect them too, even if just a little bit. And I get it. There was a relationship with this person. But when you analyze it for what it really was, you're going to find there wasn't any depth to it. It was all just surface level shit. It was all about what you could do for them. Is this making sense? They may have pretended to care about you, but it was all fake. Be honest with yourself. Did they ever really show the same level of caring and compassion that you showed? They couldn't have, because they don't know how to connect like normal people. Here's the thing, guys. Narcissists just don't care, because they already have somebody else that's already replaced you, and they've been with this person before you even left. And trust me on this, if they haven't picked up another source of supply before you leave, they'll figure out a way to keep you around until they do find another source. And they'll do just about anything to keep you just a little bit longer. They'll love bomb you, guilt you, or they'll play a victim just long enough until they can get that new source of supply they need. Narcissists just can't be alone, and that's why they'll always have one or two sources of supply ready to go. Hell, they might even have more than that. They know that with every relationship they get into, it's only going to be a matter of time before you decide to stop putting up with all their bullshit. So now that the relationship is over, and you see they've already moved on to a new relationship, everything looks so great from the outside. But remember, you were in that cycle once. But all you can seem to focus on is that love bombing stage, like it was just yesterday. And you let that consume all your thoughts. Stop doing that. It's just not healthy. When you can think about it with a clear mind, you know what you're seeing isn't a true representation of the relationship. You know it's not real because you went through the exact same thing. I mean, seriously, do you honestly think the narcissist woke up and changed just like that? Do you think some light went off in their head and they all of a sudden decided to do a complete 180 and drop all their bad behaviors? Let's all get real here, guys. That's just not going to happen. These people become narcissists at a very young age, and they've programmed themselves to act certain ways. They don't know how to change, and quite honestly, they don't want to change. Because if they did, they would have done something about it a long time ago. Narcissists only have one goal with everyone they come into contact with, and that's to make people their emotional slaves so they can get whatever they want. And as for you, you're insignificant. You don't matter to them. You're just like another restaurant to them. When you remove all that attention you've been giving them and you reduce your communication to a bare minimum, they will know it's time to move on to the next source of supply. Remember, you're replaceable. They'll just go find somebody else. And if you're anything like me, you think, what the hell? How could somebody treat me this way? How can they just move on and show zero emotion? I would never do something like this to anyone. This is just what narcissists do, guys. It doesn't have anything to do with you. They're this way with every relationship they get in. And guess what? Even though it seems like your relationship is over, it really isn't. Because that narcissist will try contacting you again at some point. Trust me. They don't know how to have complete closure. They never totally detach from you. So be prepared, because at some point in the future, I'll bet they try contacting you in some way. They need to see how you're doing. They need to keep tabs on you, waiting for any opportunity to catch you while you're vulnerable and try to get you back into their life. When you can get strong and stay strong, when you take back your life, that's what will keep the narcissist away from you. When they know you won't provide them with their needs anymore, when you don't react to them or engage with them, They'll eventually stop contacting you altogether. And try to be happy knowing that. Don't worry about them for one more second. Trust me, they'll be just fine. Let them go find someone else to manipulate and torture. You don't need any more of that shit in your life. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep looking for the signs. Stay alert, be vigilant, be strong, be brave, and go live your best life today.